How you doing? This is Mike from Potholes, bringing you our latest creation that was brought about by a ton of requests from all of you out there. Is the 2014 to 2018. It'll touch the 19 for the 25 and 3500. Any of those trucks that have the step bumpers, and it's for the Chevy and the GMC. I'm gonna go over the tools needed, what you receive in the package, and a little bit of the install. As far as getting the step out of the bumper, I'm gonna tell you straight up, guys, on this one, the easiest way is just to remove the bumper. It's gonna save you a lot of heartache and a lot of pain trying to get in there and get these steps out without just taking the bumper off. Much easier, especially on these older trucks. A couple bolts, you can pop that bumper out and get that step out. So let's go into the unpacking. What you're gonna receive. You're gonna receive two Baja Design S1 flush mount with white cornering lens. These are proven. We've got over 2,000 kits out there with our other kit that we sell, and these lights have been bomb-proof. I've only had a couple returns, and that's the beauty about these, is that Baja Designs doesn't even question it. They just get you a new light and we're on our way. So you're gonna receive the two lights. You're gonna receive some zip ties. You're gonna receive the Christmas tree zip tie, or the fir tree, and that's gonna be for your relay on the harness. You're gonna receive the two mounts. You're gonna have a right and a left. The unique thing about these mounts and the way we designed them is that, first of all, there's not a lot of room inside the step. So we had to get very creative, and we had to really get the curvatures and everything down so we can get this thing to fit flush. But then it was like, how are we going to line up all the holes and get everything done? So what we did is the back side of the mount is also your template. It has a lining, and it also has inserts that are your nuts on the back side. So that's how that works. It's clamshells over the bumper step. One of the things that I've always kind of hung our hat on is our harnesses. We build beautiful harnesses, and it's kind of where the magic happens. We got diodes and different things happening in there. So on this one, because the older trucks don't all have cargo lights in the bed, we had to get a little bit creative with it. So this harness is going to activate the reverse signal. So the lights will activate on reverse. But what I did on these, and I'm a true believer of plug and play. I like it, when I say plug and play, that means that every end has a connection. I'm gonna have a caveat to that on this one. This harness, I left one lead undone. And this could be used or not used. But it allows you to run it to one of your aux switches set up in your truck. You can run this trigger up there and it will activate the lights anytime you want. So you'll have reverse and you'll have switch activation, whatever you choose. So that's kind of what you get here. You're gonna get some longer screws. You will receive screws that come with the lights, but they're gonna be a little bit too short. You'll see that. So you're gonna get some longer screws, and you're gonna get one screw that's going to help you align and set you up for success when drilling your holes. And you're gonna get two cool stickers. So that's what you're gonna get on the unpack. And now we're gonna move into what tools you need to complete this job. So you're gonna need a few Torx and a few, I think 7mm sockets to get the step out of the bumper. But again, we're talking about get the bumper off the truck and get the steps out of the bumper outside of that. So what we're gonna talk about is the tools needed to actually install the mounts on the step. You're gonna need a 2.5-inch hole saw. I like to use an impact just to drive the screw in. You're gonna need a nice small drill bit, a set of side cutters, and I think these are 2.5 metric Allen for the screws. Once we get this mounted on the back of the step, I'll show you what the tools are needed for. So really, once you get the steps out of the truck, which is pretty straightforward, these are the tools needed to complete the install. So obviously I have the luxury of having a half of a bumper here that has the step in it, and I'm gonna pull the step out. So we have the step out of the truck. Here's your step. Here's the cover that goes on the bottom. And this is the surface where we are going to put the potholes mount. So now that we've gone over the tools needed and what you're gonna get in the package, let's kind of go into a little bit of the install. So we're gonna be working with the right side of the bumper, passenger side. And like I explained before, one of the unique things about our mount is that the template is part of the clamshell mount, the back side that has your nutserts in it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this piece right here, and we're gonna talk about using that screw that we had earlier, that one little screw, and we're gonna put that right here in the center hole. So once you have your steps out, you're gonna want to just sit that right on there like that. It just sits right in there. We know exactly where it lines up. We'll hold it in like that. And now that we have this mounted with the screw, we have our 4 pilot holes ready to be drilled that are also your nutserts on the back side of your mount. So what we want to do now is get a nice thin, small drill and run it right down those holes. Okay, so what I have now is 4 pilot holes that I'll open up to be able to put the screws through that hold the light and clamshell the mount. So that's all set. We can go ahead and remove this mount at this time, the template mount. And we have all 5 of our holes ready to go. So what we'll do is we'll open those up, and we will also drill the hole saw 2.5 inch hole for our light to go through and clamshell here. One other thing that we're gonna do now that we've used our template is we'll come in with the side cutters and we'll just snip out So now this is the back side of your clamshell, has your nutserts already installed, and we're ready to go. All right, the next step is drilling the hole with the hole saw, utilizing the pilot hole that was holding the clamshell template on. So we're gonna line this up right here, and we're just gonna let her rip. I like to use a hole saw that I use to drill holes in granite countertops. It doesn't bite as much like a wood hole saw does. So that's kind of how I do. Now we've got our large hole. All we have to do now is open up the 4 holes for the screws to go through, and we'll be clamping this thing in. All right, we're gonna drill these holes right here. The 4 holes in the back for the screws to go through. Your pilots are already there and they're in the perfect location. So now your step is actually ready to have the clamshell inserted, bolted in. I oversize the holes a little bit. That gives you a little bit of movement with the screws once they're all located in there, but that's kind of how I go. So next step is installing the light with the potholes clamshell mount. All right, as we get ready to insert the light into the mount, one of the things, it does say potholes down the side of the mount right here. And if you always notice, the fattest corner is gonna be the lower outside corner of your step always. These things have some crazy curvature to them. So we're gonna get this on here. like this. So this just sets up right inside there. We're gonna stick the wire right through the hole there. Then we're gonna grab our clamshell on the back, slide it on. So now we've got all 4 screws in. The light is secure to the step, clamshelled. One thing that we do note is that when you go to put the clamshell on the back, the part of the tab that aligns the mount, you're going to want to trim that off also, just like we did the insert piece. And that allows for this step to slide through and be securely put back on. So we're all on there, step is on, and now we just reverse the process of installing this back into the bumper. I have one here that I can show you, it just slides right back in. And there we go. 2014 to 2019 for the 25 and 3500s. 2018 for all the 1500s. Potholes, step mount, Chevy, GMC.